Want to run faster and stay injury-free? The secret isn't in running more miles. Well, actually, it kind of is, but you won't be doing that anytime soon if you don't have the strength in your legs to handle the mileage without getting injured. Running puts a lot of stress in your body. It's high impact on your joints and creates muscle imbalances, and if you're not careful, can lead to injuries that can take weeks or even months to heal. But with the right leg exercises, you can build strength, improve stability, and run stronger for longer. So, what are the 5 must-do exercises that every runner needs? By the end of this video, you'll have a simple, effective strength routine that makes your stride more efficient, helps you run stronger for longer, and helps you to avoid those frustrating injuries that sideline so many runners. The first exercise is a single leg squat. And you can either use a dumbbell, doesn't need to be a dumbbell. This could be a wine bottle, quite happily, or anything towards that kind of height as a destination for your hands to reach towards. I like to line this up with my little toe on the standing leg, because being slightly towards the outside is going to help me keep that knee under control. Down, touch, and back up. Down, touch, and back up. Now, if it's too much of a challenge to go down with 2 hands, give yourself this hand, the same side hand as you're standing on, for additional balance. It'll be easier if you use this hand, but trust me, if you reach out with the other hand, it will, if anything, be slightly harder. So don't get those 2 hands wrong. The reason why that's harder is we're moving our center of mass that way, which influences the knee to want to creep in. Whereas if we reach our center of mass that way, well, we want to keep the knee away from creeping in, so we're actually helping the knee stay out. We're reaching out to the side. Next up is a hamstring bridge. This one is an absolute game changer. It strengthens your hamstrings primarily, but also your glutes and lower back, key muscles for us to run pain-free. So I'm using a bench here, but you could use a chair, for example. The key here is to get yourself the appropriate distance away from our bench or chair. The way to know that you're in the right position is if we think about the angle of the knee as you come up into this position. So if this is 0 degrees and this roughly is 90 degrees, we're looking to have the knee held at about 45 degrees whilst we're up in our bridge. Okay, so the key is to start out with your, again, as we talk about always in our bridges, start out with our core engaged, lower back pressed into the ground, just to get that initial control of this midsection. From there, I want you not to think about pushing down with the heels. I want you to think about actually trying to pull, in my case, pull the bench over towards my butt. In your case, it could be the chair or the box. Okay, so I'm thinking pull heels in towards my butt to flip this back as I lift my hips in the air. That straight away puts so much more emphasis on my hamstrings. I can really feel them working there. So backs of the thighs working overtime. Then you're going to come down. Okay, as you come up, don't force the height. As we always say with our bridges, we don't want to overcook the height and feel it in the lower back. That's not the point of this exercise. You will feel your glutes working, but predominantly, I want you to feel those hamstrings working hard. Okay, so from here, draw the belly button in. As I now lift the hips, I pull heels in towards my butt. Obviously, they won't go anywhere, but the emphasis is on pulling back, feeling them in those hamstrings. And then from there, we're just holding for 10 seconds. Now, if you're feeling a little bit adventurous or feeling this is easy, you can then take one leg off and work one set of hamstrings at a time. Again, just doing 10-second holds on one side, 10-second holds on the other. Okay, so this shouldn't be painful, but it's one that you probably will feel quite intensely through your hamstrings. But if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments and I'll help you out. The third exercise is a reverse lunge. This reverse lunge is one of my favorite lunge variations. In fact, for anyone who's had any knee bothers, this is a really gentle lunge variation for the knees. especially in comparison to a forwards lunge. So we're going to start out, one knee up in front of you. And in fact, driving this knee up and forwards, so getting into hip flexion on that side, helps us to switch on, because of the cross extensor reflex, switch on glute max on the other side. So we're always going to come back to this running man type position. But from here, we reach back and down, touch down, bend both knees, drive back up. Again, consciously squeeze your butt as you drive the knee through. Back and down, and up. Back and down, and up. Always trying to get into a nice, static, stable running man position at the top, and just tapping the knee at the bottom. There's no weight transfer with the knee on the ground. You're not resting there. It's just working through full range of motion, getting that knee down to tap the ground. Now, of course, if you find this hard, you can do this next to a wall, give yourself a little bit of wall support. Got no problem with that at all. Let me show you side on. So from here, knees up and through. From here, we reach back, touch down, and then up and through again. Reach back, touch down, up and through. Now from this bottom position here with the standing leg, so this leg, I want to push through the heel. Pushing through the heel from the bottom of the movement helps me switch on, again, those glutes and hamstrings, posterior chain, and really start building a bit of power, a bit of strength through the movement, through those big muscle groups, strengthening those.
Now, let's talk about calf raises, particularly single leg calf raises. If you've got any history of calf or Achilles injuries, even plantar fasciitis, you'll want to make sure any weakness in your calf isn't a problem that causes re-injury, and it's something that you identify and start working on.
Okay, so this is our single leg calf raise, and you'll probably find it easiest to do this with a hand on the wall, because I don't want you overloading yourself in terms of having to think about balance whilst also working those calves. So I generally get you to put your inside hand relative to the foot that you're working, the calf that you're working, on the wall. So I'm working my right calf, left hand goes on the wall. From here, and we're going to do this barefoot, ideally, but from here, nice tall posture, squeeze your glutes, engage your core, hand on hip, going to come up and then down, up and down, working as high as you can in terms of the range of motion you're using at the ankle there. But the way we're doing this, you're going to feel this in your calves quite quickly. We're going to work through the given sets and rep for the given day. Again, don't worry about pushing through any pain, any discomfort. Always give yourself a break before you reach that point. But you should feel with this that the calves start to fatigue fairly fast. Now, word of warning with this, don't do this before a run. I do not want you pre-fatiguing your calves and then going out and running on them. That's not a recipe for anything good. So this could be post-run, ideally, or this could be on your day off. So again, other side, from here, we're gonna come up and down, slow and controlled, up on the count of 1, down on the count of 1, 2. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, just to start working that eccentric component just that little bit more.
The final exercise is a single leg deadlift. This strengthens your hamstrings, glutes and core, key muscle groups for running efficiently.
So this is the single leg deadlift. As single leg exercises go, this is one of my favorites. It's so simple, but so effective. It's a deadlifting type movement, as you can imagine. So we're working through the knee and through the hip, but keeping your back as straight as possible. And I don't mean straight as in bolt upright. I just mean we're keeping our back in a straight line rather than kind of hunching over as we go down. But I'll show you. So we start out standing on one leg, little knee bend. The way I like to think about it is fingers to opposite side, big toe. So as we come down, first movement is we push back at the hip as we unlock the knee, and we come down into our deadlift kind of movement, and then we touch, and then we come back up. Control, 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 back straight, head looking forwards, and back up. Okay, it's different to a single leg squat. It's different to a single leg straight leg deadlift. We're allowing ourselves to move at the knee, move at the hip, but we still want to focus, just like our single leg squats, on keeping that knee facing forwards. This hand, use it to reach, okay? Give yourself a reach out to the side to actually help yourself out in terms of stability. But you can also give yourself even more of a hand and literally use something to hold on to. I'm less worried about the balance and control element at this point. I want you to work through the range of motion, just get familiar with the idea of pushing the hip back, loading through those glutes, feeling that you're keeping your back straight as you come down, and then come back up. What I mean in terms of back straight, like I said, we're not bolt upright. I want you to feel the difference between coming down, be able to keep head up, back straight, back straight, back straight, to there, as opposed to coming down and just kind of folding in the middle like this, if that makes sense.
Now that you've got the 5 best strength exercises for runners, how do you go about using them? Well, here's a simple 2-day per week routine. Single leg squats, 2 or 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps per leg. Then hamstring bridges, 1 set of 10 times 5 to 10 second holds on each leg. Follow that with reverse lunges, 2 sets or 3 sets of 12 reps per leg. And then single leg calf raises, again, 2 to 3 sets of 15 reps per leg. Single leg deadlifts to finish off, again, 2 to 3 sets of 15 reps per leg. Add this little workout to your routine twice a week and you'll see noticeable improvements in your running in just 4 to 6 weeks. Now, I mentioned calf strength a moment ago, and it's something that most runners aged 40 and above seriously lack. Click the video on screen right now because I've got a simple test that you can do at home which might just explain why your calves seem to hate running as much as they do. I'll see you over there.